All right. Welcome, welcome. All right. So we got Mr. Jackson and Mr. Harden. We'll go ahead and say welcome to our Anson High Alumni Basketball Tournament and Fundraiser media coverage. We'll go ahead and do some introductions and kick this thing off. So, again, we want to welcome you to our media coverage of this Alumni Tournament that we have coming up in September. We're really excited about it, and so we wanted to put together this program just to kind of highlight and have some special guests and just really just cover an event that we don't believe has ever happened in Anson County. So we're excited about it. First, we'd like to introduce the Sandhills Voters Initiative. I am Samuel Cole. Most call me Sam. I am from Anson County. I work for the Anson Extension Office. I am the current 4-H agent. I graduated in 2007, and so most of you coaches at some point I've met you guys, but I want to give a quick introduction for the Sandhills Voter Initiative, which myself and Alan and Tion started. And I'll let Alan go ahead and introduce himself.
Yes, my name is Alan Jackson. I'm a 2014 graduate of Anson High School. I was never a varsity basketball player, but a big fan of basketball, a big fan of you guys that played the game. And now we're looking to, like Sam said, bring this alumni tournament back and see who still got it.
Sounds good. And our third is Tion. Tion Williams is not here. He's somewhere in New York traffic. He travels the Grand United States, and so he was not able to make it tonight. But like I mentioned, we started this group maybe about 3 or 4 months ago. Can't remember the exact date, but we came together as a group. We're all from Anson, and we wanted to just figure out how we could have an impact on Anson. And so we came together, and the Sandhills Voters Initiative, our mission is to empower communities by encouraging and promoting civic engagement. And so civic engagement is one of those things that is really important to us because we all, like I said, we all grew up in Anson, and there were, coaches, teachers, programs that impacted us and helped us to become the men that we are today. And so civic engagement is really, really important. And to kind of induce civic engagement, you have to get people to kind of care. And to get people to care, you have to kind of spark their interest. And so, to our mission, we figured that hosting an alumni tournament would be just one way to spark people's interest and just kind of bring us together a little bit as we move toward more civic engagement. And so,
I'll do
um,
the next. I'll do the next one, Sam.
go ahead.
And with funds raised, we'll provide scholarships, support our local sports programs, along with other community and educational efforts. And like Mr. Cole said, we just want to spark people's interest. And we figured by doing this basketball tournament, getting the entire county together, this be a great way to get our name out and get our mission and our faces in front of people and really start steamrolling a lot of good community programs that, can be used for the betterment of Anson County.
And we also want to introduce Mr. Tyrell Harden. He is a sports enthusiast. If you go to any Anson Bearcat game, I'm sure you've heard him. And we want to have him on. We wanted to have him on. Again, he bleeds orange and blue, and so it felt right to have him on to be part of this discussion. So please introduce yourself, Tyrell.
Hey folks, I'm Tyrell Harden. Most of you know me. I'm a native of Waysboro. Went to Waysboro Elementary, Anson Middle, and graduated from Anson Senior High School in 2006. So, and as Sam said, I bleed blue and orange. So when Sam reached out to me and told me of the positive initiative that he had, I said I would be more than happy to be a part of anything that portrays Anson County in a positive light, and a part of anything that brings positive exposure and anything that brings any kind of positivity to this area. I want to be a part of it. So I'm happy and honored to be amongst you all.
All right. All right. So we're gonna try to stick on schedule. Um, Next up, we're going to talk about the rules and the logistics of the tournament. So, and this is speaking to our players. We're so glad that you all are being a part of this tournament. We wanted to make it a big deal, and so we put our heads together to come up with some rules and just the best way to make it a fun and exciting event. So, we will let Mr. Allen talk a little bit about how the tournament is going to run.
Yep. So we're going to do 4 teams. The tournament the classes will be broken down into 4 teams, from 2000 to 2005, 2006 to 2010, 2011 to 2015, and 2016 to 2021. So we're trying to stick within those year intervals. Each team will have the option to be eligible. You have to have at least 10 players, and the maximum that you can have is 15. Each team is eligible to have a coach and an assistant coach. Now, after September the 8th, when rosters are due in final, you will not be allowed to change your roster after that point. So if you start with 10, you start with 12, you start with 15, that's the same 15 that you have to quit and finish with throughout the tournament. The 4 teams will be seeded based on when they finish paying their payment. So if 2006 to 2010 gets their complete payment in first, then they'll be the 1 seed. If 2000 to 2005 pays last, they'll be the 4 seed. That's how the seeding will work. You can go ahead to the next slide, Sam. Yep. The first finalize their rosters and pay their team fee will be the number 1 seed, and so on for the 2, 3, and 4. Games will be high school rules. We'll play 4 10-minute quarters, substitute as you wish, 10-minute halftime. Second and third and fourth quarters, they will have probably a minute, 30 seconds to 2-minute buffer between them. Each team will have 3 60-second timeouts and 2 30-second timeouts. We're asking all players, the game times is at 5 o'clock for the first game, which will be between the 2 and 3 seed, and 7 o'clock for the second game, which will be between the 1 and 4 seed. Now, as I said before, you will be seeded based off of when you complete your rosters and send your payments. So if you play the 5 o'clock game, we ask that you get there at about 4 o'clock, and then you'll come and see me. We'll go to the band room. We'll talk about all the rules and regulations, everything we're going over here. I'll go over again just so it's fresh in your mind. And then you'll get a warm up and we'll be ready to play.
All right, appreciate it. There's a reason why we let Alan handle the logistics for the tournament. He kept it straight on all that. We would have him playing college halves if it was up to me. But next up, so for our surprise for tonight, the main reason why we want to bring this together is that we have some special guests. Now in our groups on Facebook, we talked about having some special guests to come through, and so we worked hard to go dig up some of our favorite people in the whole world. Some of the people who just represented Anson County at a high level, and we wanted to have them come in and just to kind of weigh in on this whole Anson Alumni tournament. So first up, we would like to introduce Coach Randy Jordan, who is our current basketball coach and athletic director. We also will have Coach Steve Adams, current coach, I think longtime chaplain. Also, we have Coach Mark Richardson, who has early 2000 teams. I think he was on his way out as I was. There was some overlap while I was still in school, but a long time coach at Anson High School, legend. Also, Coach Rodney Hyde, also another legend. Played collegiate basketball at my Tar Heels. Wanted to have him on and give some insight. And then we have another legend, Coach Matt Sides. Coach Matt, he coached those mid 11, 15, 12. They'll come on and give their exact years, but again, another Anson County coaching legend. And then we also have Coach Brandon Raines. And I remember Coach Raines there. I was there teaching while he was coaching, and really appreciated what he was doing with the program. So all these coaches at some point had some time here at Anson County as coaches. Eat it up, fellas. These are the guys. Go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say also they coach between our 2000 to 2020 timeline, so we want to give them a chance to weigh in on their thoughts about the alumni tournament and, just give us some of their insight.
All right. So first up, let's take a trip down memory lane. So y'all put your glasses on. I want y'all to check out some of these throwback pictures that we found in a few yearbooks. And I gotta say, I'm not sure why the pictures from the early 2000s had to be in black and white because they look so much older. It was only 20 years ago, but they look like really old. But a few throwback pictures.
Wow. I had hair and a neck.
Yeah. Yeah, these are throwback for real. All right. So those were just a few throwback pictures.
I've still got some of these jerseys lying around.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
those definitely.
Don't we, Coach Adams?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We found them, and we didn't have enough to outfit a whole team, but we've got them.
The classics.
Yeah, those are definitely classics. Alan, we may have to see if we can get some of those Jordans, get with Coach Jordan to use some of those jerseys if possible. But definitely these pictures, I'm sure they take you back down memory lane, and that kind of leads to our next part, coaches conversation. So this is what we're here for tonight, coaches. We're here to talk about this tournament and just maybe give some predictions, just to reflect and just kind of see how y'all feel about this tournament in general. So question number one, and anybody can go, no particular order, but let us know when you coach at Anson and just for how long.
Yeah, this is Coach Raines.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm just kidding. This is Coach Rodney Hyatt. I don't know when I coach. Probably was late, I don't know, 90s probably. I had a pretty good squad, Israel Sturter and those guys, Sean Burns, Tyree Gaddy, pretty good group. So I'm just happy to be a part of this organization. Hopefully we can do some great things here in Anson with this group and you guys' program. My prediction for this tournament, I think I would go with whoever team that Bunyan is on. We're going to go with that team to win the tournament.
With a name drop somebody. All right. All right. Coach Raines, you go next.
Yes, sir.
I think your internet might be going in and out. We'll see if we can we'll let Coach Size. We'll let you go. When did you coach at Anson for how long?
So I coached at Anson High School for
4 years in Allen's.
And I was 2008, 2009 was my first year at Anson High, and then 2011, 12 was my final year. So 4-year period.
Okay. I think you try. Can you hear us, Coach Rain? I think your internet connection might be. We'll get you right.
I'm connected to Wi-Fi. See if that works.
Yeah, he's going in and out. Coach Richardson.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your time at Anson. When did you coach and for how long?
Great time at Anson High School. I'm a native of Anson County, so really have some compassion for what goes on. I think you guys are doing a super job in presenting this to the community. I coached from 2000 to 2008. Had some moderate success. Guys did real well for a little while anyway. And I just think this is a great opportunity to get a lot of people together, reminisce, have fun, raise some money for a worthy cause.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach Adams, tell us about your tenure and how long you've been with Anson.
2005 is when Rodney Hyatt made the best assistant coaching hire of his tenure. Now, 2005, I came on with Coach Richardson and Coach Hyatt, and helped any way that I could. Been around since then. So 17 years, going strong. Been a part of every coach that's on here staff. in some way, shape, or form. I've been the blessed one. These guys are awesome, awesome individuals, great coaches. So long story short, 17 years, 2005, I came on staff, and I'm just glad to still be a part.
Wow, 17 years. Who else? I think we got Coach Raines. Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back online.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So Allen was in probably a poor decision by me, but I cut Allen his senior year. 6'4", he was one of the last ones to get picked. But I would agree with Richardson. The one Bunyan's team, I would predict to win, but during my time, Irvin Bennett was a phenomenal shooter. I had a great competitor, Devontae Till. I had Paris Stevens, a great competitor. My second year, I had, Will Smith, Terrell Tillman, that were older players on my second team. And I know I'm forgetting D'Angelo Tyson was a great player also for me, and really enjoyed my time at Anson. But I know I'm forgetting some, but I would definitely agree with Richardson as far as Bunyan Tyson's team would probably win. Explosive player, no doubt about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Terrell, we're gonna let you take over.
All right. What are some of your favorite moments coaching? And we'll go in the same order that we just went in before. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with Coach Richardson, because Coach Richardson, what was one of your favorite moments coaching?
I would say my first year at Anson, we were 2-20. My favorite moment was the following year. We were 19-7 and won the conference tournament. The following year, we won the conference regular season. So starting at the bottom, making our way up to the top in a couple of years was probably the most moment that I have. Really appreciate the opportunity to be at Anson, and still have much love for the Bearcats every year.
Yeah, and that 19-17, if I'm not mistaken, if you include the playoffs, went 22-7. I believe y'all got to the third round of the playoffs that year too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man, some good.
Yeah, you also had some good.
Start name dropping at this age, you forget somebody.
McNair, Mario Thomas. You had some.
Mario Jason Thomas. Spencer was one of the year. Yeah, we had some studs.
Adrian Barnes, and a couple of years later, I mean, you had some players.
Right. So we had some good years. I really enjoyed my time there.
And I'm just going to go in successive order. Coach Sides, what were some of your favorite moments?
I would say the ones that look back on the most are just, I love the summer traveling when with the kids, the memories you make on the road in the summer, going to places like East Coast Invitational and going to the beach and hanging out with the guys, and going to East Lincoln and staying overnight, and all those different trips. Those are the memories you take with you. Bonding in the locker room before and after games and practice, those are, when it's just you and the team, and you get, that's just a real bond that, a lot of folks don't understand between the players and the coach, one that you'll carry with you forever. So those are some of my favorite memories.
Yeah, you won a lot of games too. I want to make that clear too.
Players win games. Lucky to coach some good ones.
Fair enough. And the NCAA national champion, Mr. Hyatt, share some memories with me from back in those late 90s moments that you had back in those Southeastern 4A.
I'm not going to talk about you. You're a man amongst boys. But anyway, the memorable moment is hiring Pastor Disaster Steve Adams. Again, relationships building. Those guys are fantastic. Got the opportunity to coach them, to play with them, be involved in their families. So that's the key, getting them involved, stay in touch with them. And those memories always stay with you. You got some good guys come through your life. You appreciate them, respect them, and good things will happen, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were always a good man in the school system too. I remember you from Waysboro Elementary, so always been an honorable man. So I know that you had an impact on people's lives. And speaking of impact, I want to bring in the anointed man, Pastor Steve. what are some of your favorite coaching moments?
I'm about like everybody else. It's the relationships. I mean, Bunyan, of course, is my guy. Bunyan, we used to ride our church bus when he was 8, 9 years old, and to be able to watch him from that level all the way through high school and then ECU, and now, playing professional. It's just those memories and with these coaches and times on the bus. I remember on the bus with Coach Side's teams, we would rap and I would freestyle with the guy. We just had some good times. But my favorite coaching memory was just a few years ago. Jake coaching JV. We came back and beat Monroe there, kind of at the buzzer, and just the energy of the kids and just those lasting relationships. They never go away, and that's the greatest part of coaching to me. That's why it's hard to, when every year I say I'm walking away, I'm stepping away. It's hard to do just because of those relationships, man. There's nothing like the players that you develop relationships with.
I got you. Just can't let go. Can't let go. Coach Raines, I hope you can hear me. I want to know
Yes,
what your
sir.
favorite coaching moments were.
There's probably 2 moments, games, of course, I'm going to talk about that really stick out of my 4-year tenure there. First was my first year as a coach, ever as a varsity coach. Probably did the worst job I ever could, but had a really good team and went like 16-10 or something like that when the second round of playoffs was. Weddington came down. They beat us at Weddington, and Bunyan Tyson made 3 spectacular ducks. We had to stop the game because the fans were on the floor. And I remember Devontae Teal about, of course, I'm joking, about.
Coach Raines, lost you for a second. You still with me?
Yeah, I think he's in and out. But while he's coming back, Coach Jordan, we got to get you in. We know you are our current coach and athletic director. Real quickly, this is your second year as a coach.
My 3rd year here.
Third year here.
Yeah, I'm the old man in the group. It's my 40th year overall with coaching and teaching, and I'm the lucky one. I get to be here at Anson High School and watch all of you guys and listen to all of this, and I'm just amazed, and I'm really blessed to be here, and I look at this as a sleeping giant. We're going to wake up and go back to what things used to be, with Matt and Coach Richardson and Coach Raines, and I'm lucky. When the first hire I made when I got here was Steve Adams, and it was the best hire I've ever made. So I'm happy. I'm thrilled to be here, and we're trying to reach the bar that you all have set for us to get to.
Well, we appreciate it. Coach Raines, are you back?
Coach Raines got cricket.
But when he comes back, we'll catch him. All right, Tyrell, you got it. And y'all have already kind of hit on that one, but we'll see what y'all got.
Yeah, like who are the standout players you remember? And if Coach Raines, if you can hear me, I'm going to go with you first. But if you can't hear me, you hear me? All right, tell me who's the standout players during your tenure.
Yeah, because I do. Just like I was saying, those 2 games, and I know I got cut off. Those 2 games that were so stuck out in my mind was Anson or Weddington and Anson. They were ranked 4th or 5th in the state, and Bunyan Tyson had 3 dunks. And I remember I was about to strangle Devontae Teal because he made a steal, and he waited for he had an easy layup. He waited for for Bunyan Tyson for the alley-oop dunk, and we had to stop the gym because it was so crazy. I'm having to umpire some games, guys. That was the first game and the second game, and I have to leave. But the second game was probably my best team. Third, we went about 18-11, and had Paris, Stephen, Irvin, Bennett, D'Angelo, Tyson. We went over first round of the playoffs. And Steve, who was? And I can't remember, but we came
had about
back
21 and a quarter.
Wow.
Yes, yes, and it was just a game. It was phenomenal. Now we had to go play the number 1 seed. That we were tough that year. We were just a really tough team, and Steve Adams can remember that team. I'm gonna have to go, boys, after this because I got a umpire engagement. But I really enjoyed my time down. Those are the 2 games I remember, and thank y'all so much for having me.
We
We
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you coming on, Coach.
It was an
Yep.
honor. It was an honor.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Coach.
Bye bye.
Yeah, no problem. Coach Richardson, I know we name dropped a little earlier, but I want to hear your standout players, at least the ones that come to mind when you think of standout players.
Dante McNair, Mario Thomas, Josh Little was good for me.
Classmate.
I'm probably missing a few other fellas.
Coach Richardson, I was young. I was probably in middle school. I remember Dante. Was he officially like 7 foot? That was a tall.
He like 6'8".
No, Dante was about 6'5", but he was long and
Okay.
gangly.
Okay.
Really
I was
good
in middle
defensive
school,
player.
so
And
he looked like he. I just remember him being a giant. But yeah, I always
yeah,
wondered
yeah,
how tall he officially was.
yeah. And I had Joseph Sturdivant was pretty good for our team. We had a good squad. We had several years that we were kind of lean, but we had a couple good years. And it's always fun, like you guys say, just reminiscing and the player interaction. I called Mario Thomas out of the blue about 4 months ago, and the phone rang, and he answered. He said, "I know this voice. If I don't know any voice in this world, I know this voice right here." And it kind of made my heart light up that he remembered my voice. And you always want to check on your players, make sure they're doing well, and now they have families and children of their own, and just big time to see them become men. And so that's the goal, to make sure that they're productive in their lives and doing what they're supposed to do. And it's kind of proud moment when you see guys that's doing what they're supposed to do.
Definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Coach Hyatt, the living legend. Name a standout player. Name a standout player or standout players that you had the pleasure of coaching.
I think I
Start
coached.
with me, Hyatt.
The guys I coach are pretty much on up there in age. Probably can beat some of those guys, but Tyree Gaddy and Israel Sturdivant, Joel Fair, Sean Burns, those cats are pretty much up there in age. I don't think I have any guys playing in the tournament.
Hey, hi. I played for you for a few weeks, man. Don't forget me.
Oh yeah, don't tell them how I had to cut you. So
No, I quit.
There you go.
yeah, he did. But those guys, again, they're about your age, Pastor Adams, correct? Yeah, so those guys are pretty. Got to do an old legends game or something. So to get those guys. But those are some of the guys. Again, it's a great thing. I'm sure they'll get involved and participate and give their input, and hopefully get to see them around once the tournament starts. So it'll be a great reunion.
Wonderful, I agree. Coach Sides, you had some ballers, man. Tell me some of those standouts that you remember coaching when you were here at Anson County.
Yeah, so inevitably I'll forget someone, but my first couple of years, I guess peaking with that 2009, 2010 team, we were different. We had a couple bigs. We played them together. Gary McKnight, Terrence Polk, and we played a little slower, and we kind of beat you up in the half court a little bit, and we were physical. And so I remember Jonathan Huff and Matt McLeod being real big defensive stoppers for us with that team. We struggled to score at times. We had our bigs and we could defend. And Chris Christian was a big standout. I noticed he wasn't on the roster, but Chris Christian was our standout, our MVP that year. Made some real impressive plays, especially down the stretch in games. And then we kind of changed them. The last couple of years, we became more of a guard heavy team. Really got up and down and pressed people, and shot a lot of threes and got out in transition and ran. Danny Bailey and Bunyan Tyson, DeAndre Pratt. Those were three of our biggest guards that we relied on. But we had a host of guys that played a lot of minutes that year. Ryan Lisby played, Steven Mentor played, DeQuan Burns and Ezekiel LeGrand. So we had a lot of guys that we shuffled in and out. So inevitably I'm gonna forget someone, but all those guys could play. So it made my job easy.
No doubt. My friend Pastor Steve, take me down memory lane too, man. Tell me some standout players that you had the pleasure of coaching.
Yeah, most of the names I already did mention, of course, Bunyan. I mean, all those guys. We obviously Coach Jordan would probably say Lance. DeLance Schuler, one of the best players in the last couple of years come through. Just so many, even like Coach Richardson said, I remember those guys, Josh Little, those kind of guys. I remember DeAndre. So there's been so many. Anson really is as Coach Jordan says, still a sleeping giant for athletes. And I've been privileged to be around good teams with good players. So the list could go on and on.
Coach Jordan, who are some of those recent players?
I got to put these on to see y'all. Steve's right. Pastor Adams is right. DeLance Schuler. I mean, Chase, what do you say?
Led the nation in assists.
He set the school record for most points in a game. Went over 1,000 points in his career. Led the state in assists. Led the state in scoring. Just a great and outstanding young man. But there've been other guys that didn't get all those accolades that I've really enjoyed coaching here. And part of what we got hurt with was COVID. And Steve's been a part of that. And we only had 8 guys that first year. So it was a little difficult to rotate people. Everybody had to play a lot. So for us, it's been about building relationships and building a culture here and trying to get it back to where a lot of you as former coaches here had it. And so I'm looking forward to this year. We've got some good young players and we think we're going to be okay.
Sounds good.
And what do you think will be the largest factor in the tournament? And since Jordan, since you're here, I'm going to ask you this: do you think age, chemistry, egos? How do you think those things will factor in?
Is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you, Coach Jordan.
Oh well.
Since you're here, I just want to continue.
I think age is obviously going to play a role in that. How many guys are in shape and been out playing and doing those kinds of things. Been over to Harvest and played on the courts outside with Steve. I drive by all the time to see guys out there playing. So hopefully they're out there playing. But I think that's going to be the biggest thing is age. Chemistry is going to be easy. Once they get back together, they know each other. They're going to fall back into old routines and be happy to see each other. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. And Coach Richardson, same question. What are your thoughts on what the largest factor in the tournament will be? What do you think is going to determine who wins, who loses?
Stamina, endurance. A lot of these guys, your mind can do a lot of things and your body doesn't kind of catch up with that sometimes. So as long as everybody has fun, it's entertaining, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for everybody. So not real sure who's going to win, but I look forward to come out.
And don't give your prediction just yet.
No prediction. I'll wait till the winner wins and I'll predict.
and Mr. Hyatt, what do you think is going to factor in? What do you think is going to be the biggest contribution to winning this tournament?
The team that's in shape, the guys that have been playing. I mean, we had some good names, but a lot of those guys, they've been sitting around eating well, gaining weight. They ain't ready to play out there. But those guys have been out there playing and still in some shape. That's probably will win. We got a couple guys that's still very active. So whoever team, Bennett, if he's playing, Bunyan, those guys still playing ball somewhere. But so that team is probably going to be the winner.
That's fair point. Fair point. Coach Sides, your thoughts?
I think it could be a combination of a lot of things. I mean, talent being the big one, but age, plays a factor. And I think, it's a fun event. It's a community event, and it's meant to be all doing things for the right reason. But also, I think a factor will be like when you start to play, what team plays together to win instead of playing to be seen. Every guys will come out and they want to get their shots and they want to and it is for fun. But is there a team that is determined just to play together with the sole purpose of winning? I think that'll have a pretty big factor too.
Gotcha. So you're saying the team who is the priority is what you think is the factor. That's what you're saying. Got it. Pastor Steve, what about you? What do you think about this?
Age, of course. I think age and Coach Side said a little bit. I think age and ego. I think, like Coach Richardson said, sometimes you get older, you still think you can do it. So some guys got to swallow the pride and play team basketball. So I think age and ego probably be the biggest factors.
Fair enough. There another coach
What
out
you
here that I left out.
I think that's everybody. I was gonna say, Alan,
Just
who do you think?
just on
What
the
do you
show.
think it's gonna be? Because I know we kind of talked about it a little bit. I know we talked about chemistry, egos. Because I mean, there is some talent out there. We'll go through the rosters in a little bit. But what do you think? And you also, Terrell, I wanted to think you get y'all's thoughts on the largest factor. Age clearly, but anything outside of that, y'all think that could
Well,
I
I
think
think,
it's gonna be really competitive either way.
yeah, I think it's going to be competitive, and I think Coach Side summed it up perfectly. Whatever team goes out there wanting to win, and instead of just wanting to score 30 myself or dunk or something like that, whoever goes out there and as a team decides, hey, we're gonna win this thing, I think that's gonna be a team to come out on top. I don't think age will play as big of a factor as you think, because we done the men's league through Parks and Rec a few years ago, and some of the old guys were still able to run up and down the court. So I don't think age would play as big of a factor, especially for just 2 games. But some of those old scorers got to realize they just assistants now. They just need to be passing the ball instead of shooting. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, if you find yourself open, you might be open for a reason, right?
Yeah, that might be
Yeah.
basketball. Give it back to who just gave it to you.
Yeah. And Sam, I think it's going to be more on who can control the tempo, who can control the pace. So whoever has the floor general, because if you have an older team, you're going to want to play in a half court game, and you want to walk the ball up, control the tempo, play in a half court. And if you're playing against a younger athletic team that want to run, you want to make them take. You got to make shots or whatever. You want to make them take the ball out the net and protect the ball so they won't get run outs. So whoever has a floor general who can control the tempo, I think will be the team that'll win the game. I think that's more important than anything, because I doubt if anyone has the athleticism they had X amount of years ago. But if you can control the tempo, you can limit the opportunities of an athletic team. And a lot of teams that like to run don't like executing in the half court. So I think that's going to be the key factor.
Yeah, if you can score the ball, if the older teams or the older age guys, if they can score the ball, they can slow these young guys down. But if they jacking up threes and getting long rebounds, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, runouts and live ball turnovers will kill you too. So you gotta protect the ball to prevent runouts.
Definitely. All right, getting down to these last couple. Terrell, you got it.
All right. How important are the sports programs to the community? And I'm actually going to start this off with the athletic director, the chief of athletics here. How important are the sports programs to the community, Coach Jordan?
I'm sorry, how important are the what?
How important are the sports programs to the community?
Sports, I've always said this, and I stole this from somebody else years ago. Sports are your front porch to a school. Obviously academics are the foundation. You got to have the foundation. But that's the curb appeal. Sports are the curb appeal. Sports are what people come and to watch and are drawn to. So I'm really excited about where we are and where we're going with our programs. The coaches that we have in place, the kids are working hard. We're making some upgrades to our facilities. So yeah, sports play a huge role in a community. And I think it's a great thing that what you're all doing here to bring people back together and talk about this and get them excited.
Right, I agree. It's kind of like the flagship entity of the community. It's the most uniting entity of the community. Yeah. And that's where we put our differences aside, and the only color, the only affiliation, the only ideology we see is blue and orange.
That's it. With all due respect, I don't see people paying $7 or $8 to come watch an English debate. But they're going to pay their money and come watch Friday night, whether it's football or basketball or baseball or softball. It's exciting.
Absolutely. And then I want to talk to Coach Richardson, because he's a coach and the son of a coach, so he's got to see it generationally. So Coach Richardson, tell me, speaking of, you're a person who grew up in sports, so tell me how important sports programs are to the community.
Being in Anson County, there's not a lot of things that we have to buy into, and so sports gives you an opportunity to make friends, to participate athletically, to fuel that competitive drive that you have. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. You were fuzzled at the beginning, but
Can you hear
I
me,
hear you
guys?
loud and clear. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look like we're having a little technical difficulty with Coach Richardson. Coach Richardson, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And I hear you now. If you don't mind repeating what you were saying, because I want to. It's important, and I want to hear it.
Okay, I just said that in Anson County, we don't have a lot to buy into, and sports is an avenue to start some competitive friendships, to maintain lifelong relationships with people. Like you said, I am the son of a coach, and I met friends that I'm still friends with to this day through athletics. So athletics plays a huge part in our socialization, our growing up, the people that we become, the people that's been in our weddings, and the people we've celebrated, and sometimes, people we've had to help bury, but whatnot. We always want to be a part of that. And I think just what you guys are doing is just kind of keeping that going and fueling what we need to do as a community to uplift our people, to uplift the young people, to give them something to do, to give them some encouragement, to give them that support. And so I think you guys are doing an awesome job, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
No, it's an honor to have you as well. And
thank you,
Coach Sides. No doubt. And Coach Sides, same question to you. What are your thoughts of the importance of the sports programs to the community?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's how you bridge the gap between connecting the schools to the community, and you build. I think you build, for lack of a better term, legacy, within the community, and you create continuity, because the young people that grow up coming to these events watch and look up to these high school. I remember when I was a young boy growing up in Concord, those guys that played for Concord High School when I was 5 years old and 10 years old, those guys were gods to me. And I held them in such high esteem. So it's a responsibility, not, of the school and of adults to create that, to give young people those models and those mentors to look up to. And I think sports can sometimes, a lot of times, bring out the best in us, and I think we should be recognized as such.
Oh, understood, and I definitely can relate to the point you made about Concord. I spent part of my childhood in Shankletown. I'm sure you're familiar with that area, so I have a firsthand knowledge and understanding of the importance of basketball and football, even with Coach Smith, when it comes to what sports even mean to Cabarrus County. And of course, being a native of Anson County, I agree with everything you just said. Pastor Steve, I want your take on this as well.
It's lifeline. Yeah, obviously in my other hat that I wear, the greatest lifeline is the relationship with Christ. But in a county like Anson, you got to have sports. I mean, it is what it is. Coach Jordan said it, so greatly. It's the front porch. And that's why even at Harvest, one of the first things we did was grab some goals, put a little rocky pavement on the ground, and give kids a place to play, because we knew that it was important to the community, for safety, for relationships, all those things that have been mentioned. In a place like Anson, it is our lifeline. It literally is, because as Coach Richardson said, it's relationships. All the relationships I've had with these coaches, I would not have had without sports. So it's a lifeline for a place like Anson. Vital to have sports programs.
Yes, sir. And for this last question, and Coach Jordan, I'm talking to you, my friend. What are some of the issues that the youth face in Anson County? What are some of the issues? Having some technical difficulties myself. What are some of the issues that the youth face in Anson County? And the second part of that is, can sports program help combat these issues? And if so, how can we as a community better support our sports programs to our youth? So I'm going to repeat that, because it's a multifaceted question. First part of that question, what are some of the issues that the youth face in Anson County? Secondly, can sports programs help combat those issues? And if so, how can we as a community better support those programs for our youth? So on that last part, what can we do to help you support us, is basically what that last question is saying, or the last part of that question is saying.
It
And
is
that's
a
for you, Coach Jordan.
multifaceted question, but it's a great question, and it goes right to the heart of where we are. Let's face it, we're a low-income school. Our kids come to school, and we've got to make sure they've got breakfast and lunch every day. We've got to make sure that they've got something to eat, and that when they're here, they're taken care of, and they're guided and shown the way down the road to try to be successful, whether it's in academics, athletics, band, whatever it is. That's our job as teachers. I know these parents are out there working their tails off, doing everything they can for their sons and daughters to give them a better life. And I applaud them. I mean, I'm so proud of them. And my wife and I chose to come to Anson. We could have stayed where we were and been real happy, but we chose to come here, and we've never regretted it. So, that's part of the issues. Our academics have got to get better, and we're working at that every day. We just had professional development today, PLCs. Coach Sides is smiling about that because he went through a lot of those. Can sports combat and help those things? Yeah, it gives them a place to go every day. They know that they have a place to go once they get up, and they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be safe. They're going to be fed. They're going to be, you know what I mean? Their parents are busting their tails. We have to do everything we can to help those parents, to help their children be successful, in my opinion. The last part of the question, what can we do as a community to support our sports programs? I say this all the time. It all comes down to money. Obviously, it all comes down to money. There are facilities issues we need here. I could go through all of those. But the biggest thing that we can do, in my opinion, as a community, as parents, as coaches, as teachers, as people in the community, come watch them play. Just come to the game and watch them play. You'll never know. They'll never tell you how much it means to them to look up in the bleachers and see you there on a Friday night. I mean, I'm gonna get a little emotional about that because they don't tell you, but you can see it in their eyes and how they play and how hard they work. And hey, mom's coming, dad's coming, my uncle's coming. We've got our facility issues here, and we all know that. I'm not going to waste people's times with that. Come out, support these young people, be a part of their lives, academically, athletically, socially, help them and teach them what you got taught. So that's it for me. Be a part of it.
No, I appreciate that. It was heartfelt. And my friend Sam, I'm turning things back over to you.
Yes, that was. Thank you for that, Coach Jordan. That was definitely. I feel like people need to hear that. People definitely need to hear that. So, but thank you all, coaches, for your input and just kind of giving us some insight on how y'all feel. Like I said, I think it's just gonna make these guys' day just to see y'all's faces, to hear y'all talking. It'll bring back lots of old memories. They'll get a chance to reminisce because the guys are excited. We got 4 different group chats with them, and they're going crazy. And so I try to give them updates, once a week, and I let them know that we would be working on doing a video that would give them an update as far as the tournament, but also we have some surprise guests. So again, we want to thank you, coaches, for taking your time to hop on here. We really, really, really appreciate it. And so just to kind of move on, next, let's get into these rosters and kind of check them out really quickly. So for our Team 1, and again, this is going to be class of 2000 through 2005, our oldest team. As you can see, we got 12, and they can have up to 15. So they have a few days to kind of decide whether they want to fill those 3 spots. I always suggest that they fill them because you don't know what's going to happen the day of. Maybe somebody's age may catch up with them on the day of, and so they may need to, maybe they won't be able to do quite as many minutes as they plan to do. So I always suggest to the team that they max out. But this is our first team, our oldest team, and for that class of 2002, this will be a 20-year class reunion for them. 20-year class reunion, so that'll be a big deal, and I'm sure they'll come out strong for that one.
Yep, like Sam said, we want each team to max out just because we want to give as many guys the opportunity to come back and play. If you graduated within those years and this might be the first time you're hearing about it, please reach out to me, Alan Jackson, on Facebook, or Sam Cole, or you can send an email to S as in Sam, V as in Vic, I as in insect, Anson 2022 at gmail.com. That's SVI Anson 2022 at gmail.com.
All right. Team 2. Now, this is the 2006 to 2010 team. As you can see, they have 14, and they have one spot available for this class. That 2007 class, which is the year I graduated, we will be celebrating our 15-year class reunion. So I'm sure that'll be like a milestone year for us. So again, even from the first team and on to this one, I feel like it'll be a pretty competitive matchup. All right, moving on to Team 3. Now, this is our 2011 through 2015. We had a lot of, arguably, talent-wise, they probably stand out just a bit. They have almost a full roster as well. They have one open spot. So anybody watching these, if you see it open and you graduate during those years, like Alan mentioned, please reach out to him and he'll figure out how we can get you registered. A lot of notable names. The class of 2012 will be celebrating a 10-year class reunion. So that's a milestone year for them as well. And then on to our youngest team, the Fresh Legs. So this team is maxed out. And again, if age is going to be a factor, maybe they'll have an advantage. But this is this team is fully loaded, and we are looking forward to seeing the young guns and how they match up. But those are 4 teams, and so we got 4 teams, 21 graduating classes. So far, we have 55 players. We may have up to 60, but at the moment we have 55, and there can only be one champion. And with that being said, we just want to kind of wrap it up a little bit and just kind of let our viewers and those who'll be watching this kind of let you know what to expect on game day. And Alan, you please chime in if I miss anything. But matter of fact, Alan, do you want to run through this part?
Yeah, I'll go through it. September 24th, we'll be at Anson Middle School. Doors open at 3:30, $5 for kids, $7 for adults. Coaches, we definitely invite you guys to come back out as well. We will start at 4 o'clock with the exhibition game by the North Carolina Jayhawks AAU team. They will show you kind of what the future of Anson will look like. Game 1 between seed 2 and seed 3 will start at 5 p.m. Game 2 against seed 1 and seed 4 will start at 7 p.m. Like I said before, we're asking all players to get there an hour early. Like I said, just so you can run into me and we'll talk about, what we expect game day, and all that good stuff. And then on the 15th, we're going to do the same thing. Doors open at 3:30 p.m. At 4 o'clock, we're going to have the game for third place, which will be the losers bracket. The teams that didn't do so well on September 24th will play first. And then game 2 at approximately 6 o'clock, we will have our championship game between the 2 winning seeds. And I want to remind you guys that seeding will be based on who pays and completes their rosters first. Whoever pays and completes their rosters first. No favoritism or anything, or anyone wanting to see 2000 versus 2020. It'll be strictly on who pays their fees and finishes their rosters first. And as you may recognize, September 24th is homecoming weekend. So we're looking forward to having a good homecoming Friday night, like Sam said, for those classes to celebrate their reunions, whether it be 20, 15, 10, or 5 years. And then for the whole Anson Bearcat family to come back out and support each other during this alumni tournament.
And outside of that, again, he went over tickets as well, so I won't go over that again. But we'll be looking to get wristbands, and wristbands will because there'll be some traffic in and out. So we want to make sure people have their wristbands so they can, if they need to go out, because we will have we'll have vendors, and so we'll have a variety of vendors and small businesses selling their products. And as we get closer to the actual date, we will provide a list of those vendors, and then we'll also have concessions. So that's pretty much what you should expect on the day of, on the 24th. And we're also inviting community organizations to come out and provide community resources. We're working with one group to come out and to provide voter registration information. So, but again, we're working with some of the community organizations to kind of finalize that.
And also, Sam, I don't think you went over this, but if you are a vendor and you are interested in coming and selling your apparel or selling whatever you vend, whatever your small business may be, please get in contact with us as well. As I said, that email address is svianson2022
Yep. And just kind of to wrap things up, we do want to acknowledge and recognize. Again, we thank you, coaches. But I want to get in and I want to thank. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody, but I want to thank first Pastor Steve with Harvest Ministries for just all the work he's done behind the scenes. Without his help and support from the very beginning, none of this would have been possible. He was very, very helpful, especially in the very beginning, just trying to get in the gym, all of that good stuff. It was very instrumental. So we want to thank Pastor Steve and Harvest Ministries. They've always been a huge benefit to the county, and they continue to do so even with this event. We also want to thank the New Rural Project, Cynthia and Alexa. They've helped a lot with the brainstorming, logistics, and things like that. It's been work, but we appreciate everything they're doing and everything they're helping to bring as far as a positive change in Anson County. And we want to shout out Anson County Schools for trusting us to use the facilities. I think it might have had to be approved by the board for us to get it, but we want to thank Coach Jordan just for his overall support in helping us to make this, just to help make this event happen. We also like to thank Anson Middle, where we're being hosted, Dr. Potts and Mr. Howard for their support as the whole school. And again, lastly, we just want to thank the players for participating in this tournament. None of this is possible without the players coming back and deciding to, take some time to just come out and play. And it's very cool just to see the excitement. Like I said, Al and myself, we were in those chats on Facebook. A lot of excitement. Anson has had our fair share of challenges, but we feel like community events like this, they can help create a sense of unity and hope. And so, one basketball tournament won't fix all of our problems, but it feels like a step in the right direction. So again, we just want to thank everybody that's involved to make this event possible.
And also, I'd like to thank all the coaches, all the way from Coach Richardson all the way to Coach Jordan. Two we missed out. We like to thank them as well. Coach Carlton Anthony, who coached at Anson, I think after Coach Raines, and Coach Middlebrooks, who coached at Anson, I think between Coach Anthony and Coach Jordan. So we would like to thank all those guys for everything that they've done for the Anson Bearcat basketball family. And we hope that this will be a enriching program to just add to that family environment that Anson County basketball already has.
All right. And that pretty much wraps it up. Let me share one more thing so that, because Alan, you've been sharing it the whole time, but I want to let them have that visual of our logo and our email. But again, if you have any, be sure to follow us on and like our page on Facebook, Sandhills Voting Initiative. And if you have any questions, like Alan has been saying, please email us at svianson2022@gmail.com. And we want to thank Tyrell also. Again, Tyrell bleeds orange and blue. And so to have him on to be able to help us with this media coverage, we really appreciate it, Tyrell.
Ain't no problem. If I die today, put me in an orange casket and bury me in the hallowed grounds of Anson County.
All right, let me see if I can do this, guys. So I would like, I know we just have a few of the coaches on, but can we get like a quick screenshot Everybody, let me make it a little bigger. Y'all can smile for me one time.
Curtain call.
All right. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate this. This was very cool to have you all be a part of this. But y'all have our please come out to the game. Even if you can't, we're gonna work and see if maybe we can live stream it. Maybe we get some people to live stream it. But again, thank y'all so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome. Great to see everybody.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
As I